Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television. This is the Political Debrief, a program from Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting after all news in the morning. I come with a political debrief where I touch on several topics from Kenya and across the continent of Africa. Africa is a very great continent. A continent full of contradictions. A continent where there is plenty, but very little food at the same time. A continent where some people sleep hungry when some food is being wasted. A continent where people sleep in the west and wake up in the east through their mouths telling a lie. Political Debrief seeks to find out and explain to the viewers what it really means to be a Pan-African and to do what type of politics is being done in this continent. This morning we shall look at the following topics. We shall look at the IEBC meeting. What are they telling the candidates? The demands. Then we shall look and listen on Ethiopia. We shall talk about Ethiopia, the peace process, and how President Uhuru Kenyatta has been able to find peace for this continent of Africa. Then we shall move on and see the candidates of Kenya between Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, Gachagua, and Ruto, and our Jikoya, the Mwaura. How many people have come out to recognize, to thank Martha Karua, to thank Raila Odinga for having appointed Martha Karua? I don't see anybody congratulating Gachagua. Because if he was a former DO, we would see a former district commissioner sitting in a hotel to endorse Gachagua. But I don't see that. So, ladies and gentlemen, then we'll later on move. We talk about South Africa. Mark that as production. South Africa abductions. There is a kidnap in South Africa and abductions in South Africa during broad daylight. What's happening to our country, Africa continent, surely? Nigeria is gone. Our next topic tomorrow. Our next topic tomorrow will be South Africa. Is South Africa disintegrating into chaos? Mark that topic. And do it, bring it on diplomatic leaks for tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Is South Africa breaking up? Is robbery, kidnap, assassinations, killings are taking place in South Africa as we speak? I was shocked yesterday when I was being interviewed on Radio South Africa, South African's FM radio, the biggest in South Africa, where I listened to the story before they interviewed me. So far, this week alone, in a day, they experienced 15 kidnaps. During the time, people come and kidnap you and demand money or kill you. Is South Africa disintegrating? And if time allows, we shall look at other events that are shaping. We shall look also, the last one will be President Kenyatta's visit, 2-day state visit to Portugal, where he addressed a climate change conference. Thank you very much. Let's start going. Today is a day for the IEBC to meet the presidential candidates of the Kenyan 2022 August 9th elections. What has happened? What has gone wrong? We want to find out. We have been talking about the IEBC, and it seems people don't listen to us. In political debrief this morning, let's cross over to the IEBC right now in Bomas of Kenya. Is it headquarters of Bomas? I don't know where they are meeting, but let's cross over production, bring the clip. Is it ready? When the clip comes, we shall see it.
That Form 34Bs, the soft copy will also be scanned and also be transmitted to our backend servers. And therefore, what is going to be available for the purpose of public and for the purpose of stakeholders is going to be the scanned copies of Form 34As as well as Form 34Bs. And at the National Tallying Center, they will be handing over and taking over of the physical forms that have been received from the returning officers. The chairman and of course his team, they will actually use the Form 34Bs that have been brought to them to verify all the entries of the polling stations using the physical Form 34As. And after verifying all of them, they will now be able to prepare Form 34C. Of course, as they do that, they pay attention to any errors that may actually occur. These errors are going to be recorded in error collection form, and this report is also going to be presented. In essence, the National Returning Officer must satisfy himself that all the entries in the Form 34Cs have been physically verified by the Form 34As, and that the agents present are also going to validate the same. And finally, then the Form 34C is going to be signed by the National Returning Officers, as well as the political party agents. It's only after that then the chairman can be able to declare who is the winner. Suppose there is no winner because no one has met the 50% plus one margin and the 25% of the majority county, then it means that a runoff is going to be there, and the chairman is going to declare accordingly that in the next 30 days, then there's going to be a runoff. So that's a simple projection in terms of how the results is going to be sent from one point to the other. Thank you very much.
In all this, what we are saying as a commission is that all the presidential candidates, we are encouraged to have agents in all polling stations. Your agents will have copies of the results. Please train your agents, find a way of also doing your own tabulations. We also had a meeting with the media. A fraternity will be deployed in the 290 constituencies. For purpose of transparency, the results belong to the people of Kenya. And the commission will do its part, ensure that all the results are transmitted. There will be a public portal for the media, for the transmitted scanned copies of the forms. The images of the forms arriving at the National Tallying Center will be verified against the physical copies. Before then, the commission prepares that 4C. So all those measures form part of the results path. So let's now have your input, comments, starting with their smear. Then we move to Uda. Gano, if you have anything, and Roots Party in that order. Thank you.
I think you'll allow me to cover a few points, all related and very, very fast. One of them is the issue of agents. The perennial complaint in every petition, whether presidential or gubernatorial, like I participated in, is kicking out of the agents by your presiding officers. So to enhance transparency, we are proposing that you not only release the identification badges for agents to candidates 2 days before, but that identification plus the oath are the only thing an agent needs to get access, and your officers must not have any authority to send out an agent unless if an agent commits a criminal offense, in which case the police at that polling station will have recorded that incident. I want to agree with your proposal that agents should sign. Therefore, the presence of the agent, unless if they have committed a criminal offense and the party is at liberty to replace, the signing of the result form 34A and in all other elections by the agents ought to be mandatory, and your form should have a column for the agent to say, I agree or disagree with the results. We also want, it's good you are transmitting the results. You have promised us copies, but you've been printing only 6 copies of the form, 4 of which are for use by the Commission. As you can see in this presidential election, we have 4 presidential candidates. Therefore, 2 copies are not enough. We don't want to ask you to print more copies and incur more money for the government. We just want the right as agents to be able to take WhatsApp images of the form once it is ready. That way, whatever you transmit electronically cannot have vifaranga via computer, because the form will be out, everybody will have it, and the press, if they are in the room, will also have it. The gap on announcing what is tallied at the station should be removed. When either the press or other people say how many votes were garnered, and they are on that form, they are not making the official announcement, they are giving the provision. They just take, this is what we witnessed. That enhances transparency. So 2 things. Your officers must not have the right to send out agents unless if there is an incident recorded by the police and the party has a right to replace. Number 2, WhatsApp images. Those who are able to have smartphones, and I'm certain that in every room there will be at least 1 or 2 people with a smartphone. We must take WhatsApp images. The story of the vifaranga via computer will die at that stage, and that will enhance the transparency. That the order of counting in every polling station, it should be clear that they start with the presidential ballot. They don't always do so. I've been at polling stations where it is not done that way. So let the commission be clear. And finally, people commit deliberate electoral offenses. That is employees of the commission, and they hide behind the word commission. We want to request you to unequivocally and publicly tell your officers that anybody who violates the electoral code deliberately, we will face the law individually. Last year I tried to privately prosecute 3 of your officers. Now that we are busy in elections, I may drop the appeal, but we need them to know that it is personal responsibility. The elephant called the commission must be dissected to that polling clerk, to that candidate, to everybody. Thank you. So that we don't come back, I'm being reminded that, I think the audit report had already been asked in the previous by our competition in UDA, and I think we are in agreement that yes, we need the audit report by KPMG, but that now can also be bared to us as we inspect your factory.
Thank you. UDA.
Thank you, Chair. On the 9th of June, when you invited party representatives, candidates, and the agents, to simulate the electronic transmission, result transmission system. The stakeholders pointed quite a number of shortcomings on that system that was presented to us. Number one, it was not user-friendly. We asked you to make it user-friendly. And the second, there were also a number of other bottlenecks, particularly transmission and the time it was taking for information to be transmitted from a polling station to you. I think we would like to know what effort has been made, or whether you're going to be doing another simulation that includes the comments we had made. Second, we fully embrace the system of the results forms pathway that you have presented. The bigger concern is on the transmission of the results from the polling station direct to the National Tally Center. And we will ask the Commission to share with the chief agents the GPS coordinates of all the KIMS kits. I think it's critical so that we can know it is actually the KIMS kit that was deployed to that polling station that is transmitting. But also provide a backup access to chief agents so that they are able to confirm the GPS of the KIMS kits as they transmit the results. We will also want you to make assurance not only to us but also to the public on the public that the public portal will be accessible even when many Kenyans are logging in. I think we need that assurance that that information will be available at any particular time. And of course...
Thank you very much. That is the IEBC meeting presidential candidates for 2022 general elections in Kenya, who have been asked several questions to verify, to tell the preparedness, whether the IEBC is prepared for an election. Elections in Africa are very emotive. Such questions are very important, and I'm glad that the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Martha Karua did not send delegates or did not send emissaries. They went there themselves, and they're asking cardinal questions. We wish them the best of all the best luck that God can give, that they win an election in this country so that they can continue with the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Ladies and gentlemen, the political debrief number 2 is Ethiopia. The war in Ethiopia that sparked almost 2 years ago, pitting Tigray, TPLF, and the Ethiopian National Army, or Ethiopian government versus the Tigray rebels or Tigray people, where millions of people were displaced, hundreds and hundreds of thousands were killed. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was very instrumental in bringing about the peace process, the mediation, which is about to begin. I want to take this opportunity to thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for the efforts that he has tried on the continent of Africa to bring about peace in several areas where peace is lacking. Let's listen to this audio. Yesterday, I was interviewed by South African Broadcasting Corporation, and this is what I had to say about the peace process in Ethiopia. Play it.
24 minutes after 3 o'clock. In conversation next with Dr. David Matsanga, expert on the East African diplomatic relations and also chairman of the Pan-African Forum. So the federal government of Ethiopia has set up a 7-member committee to commence peace talks with the Tigrayan rebels in order to end the long civil war. Since early May, stories have been circulating about secret talks between them. So are we likely to witness peace anytime soon? For more analysis on this, Dr. Matsanga now joining us on the line. Dr. Matsanga, good afternoon, and thank you so much for making time for us. Do you think that it's really possible to find a solution to this impasse?
Yes, it is possible. Thank you very much, first of all, South Africans listening to me. I want to take this opportunity before I say anything to thank President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta of Kenya for the tenacity and the steadfastness that he had shown. He has shown in brokering this peace process behind the scenes. You remember when you interviewed me sometime last year, when the war had broken, I told you that Obasanjo is one of the worst negotiators, mediators that you can ever put to any conflict, because I have ever gone to negotiate conflicts with him in DRC Congo, and we came back with nothing. In South Sudan, we came back with tears. In so many places that Obasanjo has ever stepped, there has been tears and nothing comes out positive. But President Uhuru Kenyatta, through his silent diplomacy and approach and advice given to him by people who know what conflicts are, he has succeeded to broker a peace process, and this is for Rio, to get Ethiopia on table with TPLF, Tigray People's Liberation Front, to bring back the Ethiopia we knew, which had a GDP that was actually coming up in East Africa.
But is it clear, though, what the role of Obasanjo would be going forward, considering that he was appointed as a special envoy by the African Union?
He can observe. He can go there and sit and observe. We don't want him to, because if one side is suspicious, if one side is suspicious of a mediator, then the peace process doesn't work. Some of us have negotiated very tough peace processes, like I negotiated the Uganda between the Lord Resistance Army and President Museveni. It was a tough one, where rebels who just walk out and say we are not coming back, and they go back to abduct, to go back to fight again. But we managed. So if there is no trust amongst the parties on the side, there can't be anything. And if there is no trust in the mediator, the peace cannot hold. Ethiopia is determined. TPLF are determined. President Uhuru Kenyatta, behind the scenes, give him a credit. He has managed to broker this on this one, and he is now trying the one of DRC Congo.
What hurdles do you think Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed faces, considering that you have the TLP that is also pushing for self-actualization?
First of all, most of the states, apart from South Africa, you are lucky that Mandela coined you on a rainbow status. Listen to your right now. Kidnappings that are taking place in 15 kidnappings, 20 kidnappings. That is not very good for states in Africa. But as I can tell you frankly, most of the states in Africa are now looking for self-determination, because the 1884 Bismarck Berlin partitioning of Africa put us together, states together without consent. So as things have developed and people have reached a level, some people are asking for independence. But on the question of TPLF, Ethiopia already had the same autonomous regions controlled by prime ministers and other people, but there was a central government that controls foreign policy, defense, and so on. So it will go back on that model. It will go back, and there will be peace eventually.
A quick one, Doctor. Now that you've mentioned the issue of self-determination and what we've seen happening on the continent as well, and the actualization of it as well. So what happens to that 1963 resolution by the OAU that the borders at the time must be respected? Does it mean that it's out of the window now?
What we call constitutive arrangement. Don't just say constitutive arrangement of 1963.
Mm-hmm.
That one is definitely, in some places, is going out of the window. If you look at the current situation, every state that is not benefiting, every region that does not benefit from the central government would like to query, what is it that we have here? You saw the constitutive arrangement in Zimbabwe between the Matebele and the Shona, Bulawayo versus Harare. You almost saw a big war until Joshua Nkomo and Robert Mugabe came together in 1993 to form a unitary government which composed of all parties. We have seen the same in Nigeria, where the Biafrans want their own state. Up to now, that one is even more serious. We have seen another one in Cameroon. The Amazonians, the English-speaking Amazonians, want a state of their own. We have seen another one in South Sudan, the Dinka versus the Nur. They don't see eye to eye. We have now the current one in Africa. The fighting in DRC Congo, M23, of which South African troops came, wiped them out. Now they have resurrected again. They are not telling you why they are fighting, but the truth, my brother, behind it is that they want a Banamulenge state.
Thank you so much.
Most of these states in Africa, brother, are looking for what we call rearrangement.
And rearrange.
The term they want to rearrange, yes, like Babangida, General Babangida.
And rearrangement also comes with instability and sometimes conflict. Thank you so much for your time. Dr. David Matsanga, expert on East Africa diplomatic relations and also the chairman of the Pan-African Forum. It's a minute after 3:30, time for the news headlines with Zoleka Kotashe. Good afternoon, Zolek.
The government of President Uhuru Kenyatta earmarked several dam construction projects under the Big Four flagship projects to boost food production. Food security is one of the critical pillars under the Big Four agenda projects, which the government is currently implementing across the country through multiple supporting infrastructures. Recent completion of the construction of the DEBRIEF Dam in central Kenya comes as a big relief to many rice farmers in the expansive Mwea irrigation scheme, who are slated to benefit immensely once the dam is filled. The 15 million cubic meters capacity dam is expected to contribute to a significant reduction of Kenya's annual rice consumption deficit by up to 86,000 metric tons. The dam is also expected to increase acreage of rice production in Mwea by up to 10,000 acres, which will lead to creation of many jobs in the Kenyan rice production value chain. It has been estimated that its full operational capacity, the DEBRIEF Dam will contribute an additional 6 billion Kenya shillings to the country's GDP annually. In Kiambu County, Karimenu 2 Dam is slated for completion in the second quarter of the year 2022. The 26.5 cubic meter dam is expected to provide up to 70 million liters of water daily for domestic and irrigation use for the residents in its vicinity and the surrounding areas. Phase 1 of the Thwake multipurpose dam is expected to be completed by June 2022. Phase 1 alone has a 688 million cubic meter capacity. The dam is expected to have a 20 megawatt hydroelectric power project on its second phase, while Phase 3 will provide an estimated 150,000 cubic meters of clean water for residents of Kitui, Makueni and parts of Machakos counties daily. And Phase 2 of the dam will also have sanitation and wastewater facilities. Currently, the government of Kenya is in the process of implementing the Agricultural Sector Transformation and Growth Strategies ASTGS 2019-2029, a comprehensive agricultural growth strategy which aims to set up 6 agro-processing hubs across Kenya for local and domestic markets, unlock 50 new large-scale private firms with more than 2,500 acres, increase access to farm inputs and equipment to up to 1 million small-scale farmers countrywide, facilitate skill acquisition and transfer, entrench research and innovation. The decade-long agricultural transformation strategy contributes significantly to the realization of not only food security, but also making agricultural sector profitable to many Kenyans that are employed in the sector. It has been estimated that for every 1% growth in Kenya's agricultural sector, there is usually a corresponding positive growth of 1.6% overall GDP growth. The ongoing dam projects will contribute significantly to the realization of the great potential of Kenya's agricultural sector and food security.
Thank you very much. The first clip was my speech yesterday, my interview with the South African radio, the biggest FM radio station. It talked about the conflict in Ethiopia. How many countries in Africa are facing or will face the current unrest that took place in Sri Lanka? It's up to you. But the facts are there. But we thank President Uhuru Kenyatta. Why I've brought this political debrief, and then the second clip, is to show you that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not only very important to Kenya, but also to the regional aspect. But back at home, there is a legacy, the food security of the clip that you have just seen. These are some of the things we are going to be doing from Monday. Monday, we shall be doing these things. On Monday, right from all regions across, across the region, across Kenya. Our correspondents will be stationed in all places where these projects are taking place. And there will be quite a lot of many other things that are happening that we shall display to show how much food security. As I said, most of the parts in Africa, people are crying for food. But the actual sense, there is no food. But there is food somewhere which is being thrown that goes to waste. Is it time for Africa to think together, reason together, look at the food security? Uhuru Kenyatta has started that legacy in Kenya. Another most important thing that I want us to see is the level of how Africa is waking up to make sure that the pandemic like a COVID-19 does not come again and meet you when you are not prepared. And that is what we intend to do. But now let's go to another part in Kenya. There are 4 presidential candidates in the Republic of Kenya. And the political debrief would like to bring you a clip that will make you laugh. Among all these candidates, the Ruto party, Mr. Wajikoya, Ruto with his running mate, the Ruto party with his running mate, and Mr. Mwaura, and then we have Azimio, Raila Amolo Odinga with Martha Karua. It is only the nation, the NGOs, the lawyers, the civil society, the fellow civil servants, who have made the parties to welcome and to endorse Martha Karua. Look at this clip. You laugh. And when you laugh, send me some laughter also. Thank you.
You have seen endorsements that have come from Martha Karua, from the Muslim community, from his fellow colleagues. Have you seen special DOs or former DOs coming to endorse Rigathi Gachagua? You have seen endorsements that have come from Martha Karua, from the Muslim community, from his fellow colleagues. Have you seen special DOs or former DOs coming to endorse Rigathi Gachagua?
You can, I think I asked you to give me some laughter also. This guy has laughed. But the political debrief wants to be serious. The most serious thing is there is nobody who has endorsed Rigathi Gachagua, or people who have come to say, we worked together, we were in school together. You know, all of us have OBs. I have, in Uganda UPDF, I have 4 generals. I have General Kaihura, I have General, Major General, Brigadier General Muma, I have several, Rubarema, Kurunziza. I have so many of them. Not Kurunziza. Not Kurunziza, yes. Yes. A man from Fort Potro. It was my... I have so many OBs of Uganda Airlines. Mangeni, Captain Mangeni, Captain Madaya. These are OBs. You know, you need people to come and endorse you. They are captains. They are generals. I have Dr. Oboth. How many? I have too many. But when you have nobody coming to say we were together, then you must be, something is wrong. So this guy was laughing. Political debrief in Kenya means the laughter is too loud. Nobody has endorsed Rigathi. Nobody knows him. But I thought he worked as a DO. People should have come. Where are the past DOs to come and endorse Mr. Rigathi? 0. Next, in that order, events in South Africa have made me very worried as an African. 15 people kidnapped daily during daytime. I don't want to finish the flavor. Tomorrow we shall hammer diplomatic leaks. Kidnaps in South Africa. Is South Africa disintegrating? Is the state of in South Africa disintegrating? The next happening is a judge in Biafra, in Nigeria, denying bail to Mr. A judge in Nigeria denying bail to Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, Manzi Nnamdi Kanu. Put a clip of myself, my analysis about what Nigeria. Is Nigeria still a state? Is Nigeria still a state? This clip has gone viral. And thank you very much. Subscribe. When you watch, just subscribe. And you'll increase our viewership. I've made a specific clip for Buhari to hear me. And I believe it is going to make him very upset. But I'm not bothered. At my age of 67, I'm not bothered. Buhari is about 80. He beats me by almost 13 years. But you need people to tell someone within that age bracket. Let's see our clip. Is it there? Yes. Look at that clip, the message I sent to Nigeria, to the whole world. Viewers, Nigeria with a population of 220 million people, one of the biggest population in Africa, a population that would have served the African people equitably, a population that would have bought goods from other African countries, consumed the goods, a population that would have shown us direction as Africans of smaller countries, a population that itself has been the center of civilization in the West African states. Nigeria descended on its own people. It started eating its own people. It started breaking down. It expired. From time to time since independence, the first time when General Aronzi came down and took over government, the death of the first prime minister or president of that country, Baba Tafawa Balewa, and others, this country has never had a smooth transition. Military coups upon military coups, experiences of people like Samni Abacha, Babangida, Obasanjo, Buhari, Abubakar, to mention Cheshu Segari, Abiola. These are leaders that have come out of this great nation. But the great nation remains a boiling pot of Africa because it does not accept internal democracy. It came to the conclusion and it came to an end in 1967. It ceased to be a state called Nigeria. It became a country with several states. One of the states that came out that wanted its own direction is apparently the biggest state, the biggest nation called Biafra. Most of us grew up knowing very well Biafra was a country, an origin of civilization. Most of us who had read the history of that nation understood it very well. Our founding fathers of the struggle against the colonial rule balkanized Nigeria into one state. The agreement was very clear, but it seems it has expired. It seems the dynamics, the current dynamics, point to a state that needs to go back to table and ask itself, is Nigeria a collapsed state? Yes. The answer is yes. Nigeria is a collapsed state, and there is no state anymore. Because every day you wake up, you find people have been killed, people are missing, women are being raped, killed, defiled, children have been abducted from schools. The army has descended on killing people, taking them very early in the mornings from their homes and slaughtering them, tying them on Land Rovers and driving them around the villages to show fear. The state has collapsed. Abductions, hostage, these are the words that you find in Nigeria. Bandits, terrorists, ISIS, Boko Haram, kidnappers, ransom, hostage. What a nation. A nation with capability to feed the entire West Africa, but it cannot feed. A nation with crude oil that can serve the entire Africa, but it lacks crude oil at the pump. How on earth did God create us to be part and a parcel of this type of nations, where you have crude oil, you export it, but you don't have petrol at the pump? Corruption has made Nigeria collapse. The state has collapsed. The presidency is no more. It's just a figurehead and a dress code. Every conference we see a Buhari walking, well-dressed with sharp, long gabs. But we don't see any gist coming out of his contributions towards a better Africa. We only see the dark side of a Mr. Buhari. Or is he Buhari? Is the question. Most Nigerians say, and not me, but most Nigerians say he's not. That's why he cannot understand why the nation is collapsed. That's why the mice came back and ate all his chairs. An African saying from the clan where I come from. Once you are visited with mice that comes to eat your chairs, pack up and go. Because the next, it is God himself going to visit you. If the mice eats you, at night you don't feel the pain until you walk in the dew in the morning going to the garden. Is when you feel you were bitten by a mice or a rat or rats that ate Buhari's president's office. How on earth could rats eat the president's office, which is well guarded? Well guarded. The rats couldn't eat his office. It's a very bad sign. And we shall not keep quiet. We shall continue talking, and we shall talk. We shall lobby international community. Because the problem of Nigeria is not the judiciary, the judicial service. You can't solve Nigerian problem with judicial mechanism by arresting Nnamdi Kanu, detaining Nnamdi Kanu, rendating him, taking him, a prisoner who doesn't change shirts, trousers, shoes. You can only solve the problem of Nigeria by constitutional political arrangement. That is the way, Mr. Buhari. Your term of office ends next year. Remember, you leave no legacy except misery. Thank you. I rest my case. Thank you very much. Viewers, what is more important is what we can say and inform people of what is happening in countries across the continent of Africa. Let's come back home and finalize with political debrief. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is in Lisbon. He has been there for 3 days, 2 days visit, attending the Ocean Conference that is taking place in Lisbon, Portugal. The UN conference was opened by the President of Portugal together with the United Nations General Secretary General, and President Uhuru Kenyatta was co-host and the conference entitled On the Oceans. What do we do with our oceans? Oceans are very crucial. The sewage, people pour sewage, plastics, all types of things, oil spills, they kill lots of inhabitants or animals that inhabit the ocean and contribute to the pollution, the stink that comes out. You can see there on the pictures on your screen, President Uhuru Kenyatta in Portugal inspecting a guard of honor mounted by the Portuguese Army Police. And we want to thank the President for tirelessly going around the world to make sure that a better world stays there for tomorrow. There are many people who might not see the benefits of President Uhuru Kenyatta running around to these conferences. But I want to tell you they are part of our legacy. For us who document President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy, that is exactly what we shall always do. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you, to say today's political debrief stops here, and we see you again tomorrow. But starting from next week, on Monday, we shall be in all regions, starting from the coastal region, to assess live on the roads that are being constructed near the ocean, in Kwale, in Malindi, in Lamu, in Kilifi, in Taita Taveta, on the farm. We shall be bringing you projects that have interested a legacy, that all in all, and our correspondents from different type angles will be commenting and to assess, to find out the progress. We always talk about the negatives. Africa talks about the negatives only. We are always bringing negatives, but there are so many good small things happening. Look at the example of the gentleman at the farm in Taita Taveta, my legacy friend, whom I contacted several times. He has been for almost 2 years. We have been in touch. He has done something, and he has created employment for many people around there and for himself. We should avoid a state where we create white-collar thieves. Major Mutwalib of EACC, yesterday I was impressed with what he did. He said we are going to have white-collar crooks. 60% of the parliament will be white-collar crooks. And yet IEBC today, it has cleared them. They are going to run. So IEBC looks like it's an IEBC for the, it's not for Kenyans, but an IEBC looks like it's an IEBC for, I think I want to stand and make a takeaway, Stephen. I want to stand behind or in front. Do you want me in front or behind? I go behind. The camera will pick. Like that. This is our takeaway. Is this prohibiting? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers. Today, we take this opportunity on behalf of Punchline Africa Television to thank you for the patronage that you have shown us since the inception for 7 years ago. The inception of online TV created quite a lot of anxiety amongst the people. But here we are. This is the 7th year we have been online, and we are the first people online. Our role is to show what has been achieved, what President Uhuru Kenyatta has achieved, the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Starting from next week on Monday, we have been writing articles. We have written articles read by over 25 million people on our website. But what we want to do is now physically to assess what can be done, what can be got, what is left, what can Raila Amolo Odinga and the Azimio government that will be coming in next September do to accomplish the mission and to keep the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. There are many things that have happened, many things that have been done which were not there 10 years ago. Therefore, there is need to keep record of these things. The legacy trend, therefore, will be in areas in each region, and I call upon all the coordinators to be alert, to bring in all the projects, the roads, the schools, the hospitals, the dispensaries, the entire infrastructure that has made the food security. We shall visit all those places. We shall also explain to the people the usage, the highway, the express, where we see the railway, the right SGR railway, which goes up to Naivasha, which people want to retard and remove and return. Yet it is going that side. It helps the hinterland of Africa. This is what we intend to achieve. But in achieving this, what have we tried to show? We want to showcase by case the obstacles, the challenges, how much could be done if there's politics was involved. The fight against corruption. How much could be done if everybody worked like President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? The way he has worked, it would be better. The country would be better. Africa would be better. We want to thank you, President Uhuru Kenyatta, for having worked hard, tirelessly to put up and stick to the Constitution, which was from 2010, implemented it to fully as it is today. We thank you again, and we shall be exhibiting those projects from judiciary, from transport, food security, mining, tourism, infrastructure of all types, education, sports. How many of this stadium have you built? How many are complete? Devolution kept on check. What is happening there? Wherever you are across Kenya, send us your message. Is there a road? Is there a grader crying, making noise? Is there a grader making noise, not crying, making noise in your village? Is there a road? Is there a place that you have gone where you used not to go? How many people in Kenya don't use these roads? But the worst part is that we forget that this money you have to borrow to put in infrastructure for us tomorrow to use the roads to export the raw materials. I therefore want to thank you and thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for what he has done for this country called Kenya. You have built an infrastructure that people will see the benefits in years to come. This is the legacy, the founder member of the legacy and the coordinator of the legacy. Moderator, thank you very much. I'm Dr. David Matsanga. Thank you. Take care. See you on the legacy trend. Thank you.